like, you were there and, with Ryan, like, was there any interaction backstage, like with you and like him, like, or was it all
Yeah,
that
yeah.
great? Because he
Okay,
was a
so I
good
get
sport
there.
himself.
Yeah, so I get there, and my sister flew out to be with me because, well, I couldn't take my wife. I couldn't take her. She would have disappeared, and she would have come back. Like it was really, really, really bad.
Wow.
My sister went with me, and so I'm dealing with this. My life is utter turmoil, and I can't believe that they called. That I was really surprised that they wanted me to be a part of it. My manager and my agent were like, "All right, well, we're gonna ask for $10,000." I'm like, "Do whatever you do." And then they call me and they're like, they're offering you $300. And I started laughing. I said, "Tell them yes. This is not about the money." And they did not want me to do it. They were pissed. They did not want me to go back and do that show. And I was like, something told me I needed to. I needed to go back. And I hadn't seen some of those people. Some of the same crew members were there, and they were so nice, and they were so genuine, and they were so happy to see me. And Nigel Lithgow, the British executive producer that I talk about a lot in the documentary, when I saw him and we had a little exchange, we hugged, and then he whispers in my ear, he's like, "You know what you and I have in common? We both got canned by American Idol." And I'm like, that's not how I remember it. Okay, weird. But I made a point of seeing Ryan before all the people around. I didn't want to see him on stage. It's been since 2002, and seeing him since, not once. And so I got taken to his office, and he jumped up. He was like, "Hey, Dunkelman!" And I said, "Look, I gotta just before we even say another word, I gotta get this out." I said, I really, I want you to know I'm really sorry about all the times we didn't get along back then. I said, I wish I could go back and change it. I know I can't. I just really want you to know I wish nothing but the best for you and your family. And he kind of took a step back. He was taken aback by it, and it was genuine. And it was a really cool exchange, And he said, "I saw that you got married and you have a son." He was like, "Oh, he's got everything that I don't have," and he meant it. It was great. And then we did our rehearsal, and we just did a kind of an impromptu hug. And as we're walking away, he's like, "Should we do the hug?" I'm like, "You're fucking goddamn right, we're doing the hug." I called my friend, and he said, "You know, it'd be really funny when you're live. Under no circumstance do you let go." I could have just taken him to the floor. That would have gotten a tremendous amount of hits on YouTube, but I didn't. But I did. I called my friend after I found out, after one of my old bosses told me the truth of what happened. I called the same friend, and I told him. He says, "See, you're not an idiot. You're just a failure." He said, "You're right. And I can live with that. I can totally live with that."
Yeah, there's something about it being out of your control, right? See, you didn't ruin your life. This was the destiny
Life
anyway.
ruined me is really what happened. But look, if I hadn't have been perceived as difficult, if I hadn't have begged them to hire writers, look, you're in the #1 show on television. Splurge for writers. All shows have writers. What are you fucking doing? But if I hadn't have been difficult, and if I'd done a better job, and if I had gotten along with Ryan, would I still be on the show? I don't know. I might have put a gun in my mouth. I don't know. I really don't know.
And you never were like, "Fuck you for offering me $300 for the
No,
finale." It was never.
no, no. And then when I got the check, it was SAG scale. They paid me scale. I was like, "Well, that was cool. They didn't need to do that." But they told me $300, and you know what? Then they were like, everybody that's all the performers, everybody's getting the same. It's just and my agent was like, "Yeah," she was a real bitch about it on the phone too. And I'm like, "Just tell them yes, I'm gonna do it." And what they wanted me to be in one big holding room with all the former contestants. Like, I can't be around anybody. I can't be around people. And it was awesome. It was the first day of the Masters golf tournament. And there's an adjoining hotel. So they took me up there, and they let me just sit in the hotel bar with the television on, me and my sister, for like a couple hours. And I just got to watch golf and be away from everybody, because man, when the clock kept ticking and I just kept getting more nervous. I hadn't done live television in a long time. And I don't look, if you've never done live television, you can't understand it. It's you can feel like you're gonna have a heart attack. And so the hour, and then I'm like, I gotta pee every 2 minutes now. And my mouth is dry and I'm standing and I'm waiting to go out. And I thought, my head's gonna come off of my fucking neck. Why am I doing this? Why am I putting my body and my brain through this? And then they introduced me, and that first step I took out, it all went away. It all went away. And you know what? My wife at the time, when she was watching, she was like, I was screaming, it's this talk, because so loud in there, and it was a genuine reaction. But of course, Seacrest was supposed to say something, and he didn't. He probably forgot. Because he was going to say, hey, Dunkelman, it's good to see him. Like, yeah. It was going to be funny. So I was waiting for him, but also like waiting for it to die down a little bit to talk. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It was a pretty cool moment. And the writer, God bless him, he came up with the perfect line to start it. And then they let me say whatever the fuck I wanted to, which was cool. It was like, well, it looks like, you know, after tonight, you're going to be out of a job. It was perfect. So
that was hilarious.
It was really great. That was the writer. And it was really great to make peace with him, because I was a dick, because they brought a writer in because there was a problem with our chemistry. They brought somebody in to try and help that. And I actually grew to really like this guy, but I was kind of a dick at first.
And your agents and managers were like, there's no way you're taking $300. Like you, this is insane.
They didn't even want me to do it. You know, I'm like, I have to. I can't keep running. I've tried to hide from this. I can't. You just got to turn and face it, you know. And that's why I'm, you know, again, in this film, I pushed the arrow through and pulled it out the other side.
Well, even on, I mean, that's the thing. Like at some point, I don't know when it was, but like on your Twitter bio at one point you had like, you know, television footnote, or I think it said television history footnote. Like, so it's, yeah. So like at some point you went from, I ruined my life and I can't get out of bed and I'm miserable and I think about it and I'm trapped, into this, your life changes and like the veil is lifted when you realize you would have been fired anyway. It's like, so when did you become in on the joke? Like you're kind of in on the joke, right?